I don't know about you, but when I think about this text, I think about the shepherds searching. See, the shepherds are searching high and wide, and they're searching. And I don't know about you, but that tends to be us as a family during the Christmas time. We, as hopefully good mom and dad, are searching for the best present we could possibly get our kids. We search high and low, and so much so, I remember this being true for me as a kid whenever the Razor scooter came out. That is all I wanted for Christmas that year, was a Razor scooter. And my parents searched high and low, so much so that none of the Targets around where we lived had a Razor scooter available. They were all sold out. Now, this is before Amazon. You couldn't just order one online and have it shipped to you. I'm old. You'll have to forgive me for that. But what they did was they called family members who lived in a different state and was like, can you please go to Target and find us 2 Razor scooters, one for me and one for my sister. See, my parents went through such great lengths in order to have this joy burst out of my sister and I in order to get this Razor scooter that we were looking for. And friends, what I think is happening in the text tonight is that this offer of Jesus, that if we're being honest, the shepherds and us are searching for something. We're searching for so many different things that we're trying to find in our life. And just a few of the things for me that I found as I was like thinking about this, that I feel like I'm searching for this season. I'm searching for energy. Going from one Christmas party to the next, going from one event to another, having 3 little kids out of school. I am a parent searching for energy. I tend to search for control, whether that be coaching my kids' teams, whether that be trying to control my kids, which I don't know if you've ever tried to do that. It doesn't work too well. And I try and search for approval that Oakley, my youngest, already knows how to tap into when she says, Dad, you're the best dad I've ever had. See, I can be honest and say, man, these are all of the different things in my life right now that I end up searching for. And friends, I don't know what you walked in here with or where you were at, but what I am sure about is each and every one of us at some level are searching for something. We figure this out by what we worry about, what we fight for, what we buy, what we work so hard to protect, what we want more than anything in this life. That's what reveals to us what we're really searching for. And my question that I want to pose and hopefully answer is it worth it? It's the same question I'd ask myself as I'm navigating this Christmas season is, man, is it all worth it? And what we're going to see is the shepherds were searching and found what they were looking for in the greatest gift of all. Read with me. And in the same region, there were shepherds out in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night, and the angel of the Lord appeared to them. And the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were filled with great fear. Now, shepherds were known for protecting their sheep. It's what they did. That's their whole job. And we see in the text here that they are at night protecting their sheep. They are protecting their sheep, and then this intentional but not ideal birth of Jesus happens. See, it's not ideal for the shepherds who in the middle of the night literally get awakened by an angel as to what this thing was going to happen. It wasn't ideal for Joseph, who literally was Mary's husband, who goes, wait a second, the text doesn't tell us that Mary ever told Joseph she was pregnant. Think about that for a second. No, this isn't an episode of Jerry Springer. See, This was not ideal, but it was intentional. And when Jesus was born, the heavens announced the presence of this baby who would be king to conquer sin, death, and defeat evil once and for all. And what the text says here is that, man, these shepherds are struck with fear. Why? Because the heavens open up and this glory comes down and it positions the shepherds back into their proper place where they say, oh my goodness, I cannot stand before something so much greater than myself. This is the moment that you get whenever you stand at the top of a mountain, or the feeling you get when you look upon the Grand Canyon and you view yourself as, whoa, I am small. Because there's a great glory in front of me. See, the great glory the angels tell them is saying, hey, listen, don't be afraid. The angel said to them, fear not, for behold, I bring you good news of great joy that will be for all the people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior who is Christ the Lord. And this will be a sign for you. You will find a baby wrapped in swaddling cloths and lying in a manger. See, the angel tells them, I will give you good news of great joy. This is the entire point of the Old Testament, the New Testament, the entire point of why history celebrates this baby who was born. Guys, it's Jesus' birthday. What the heck? But we celebrate it because there's something so much different than any other birthday in human history. It's the birth of a king. It's the birth of a king who would lay his life down. It's the birth of a king who, in laying his life down for us, brings about a joy that we could never imagine. See, they experience this good news of great joy. And we see that they're searching, that they're longing, they're hopeful was found. And suddenly there was the angel, a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace among those with whom he is pleased. And friends, this text is showing the angels here praising God in front of the shepherds, and the shepherds are like, what in the world is going on? The angels saying, hey, this is good news of great joy. And the angels are so excited. What happens? They just start praising God. They can't contain it any longer. And this glory that they saw, the shepherds saw, was unlike anything else that they had ever experienced in their life. And it affirmed this longing. And what we see in verse 15 is what this searching leads to. When the angels went away from them into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, let us go over to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has made known to us. And they went with haste and found Mary and Joseph and the baby lying in the manger. Friends, the shepherds were committed to finding the baby. They just had this incredible experience where the heavens open up and angels are around saying, hey, this is him. He's coming. He's here. This is him. This is the guy. And he's saying, this is the place where you will find good news of great joy. No other place that you've been searching. This is the only place. And when that happened, look at the bottom of the text. They went with haste and found Mary and Joseph and the baby lying in the manger. Shepherds had one job, protect the sheep. And they leave it to see the one who'd be the shepherd of the world. Now, see, the shepherds were searching and found their joy. I don't know if you guys have seen this guy before, C.S. Lewis. He's written over 30 books. He was a brilliant man. He was a professor at Oxford. Maybe the Chronicles of Narnia rings a bell for the kiddos. But this guy, this author and professor, C.S. Lewis, has this incredible experience where he's searching for joy. He talks about when he was a student, he was going to be a student at Oxford, and he's walking along this path, and he ends up going the wrong direction away from Oxford. And he sees these boring houses as he's like walking by. He's like, surely this isn't the Oxford that everybody talks about. And he turns around and he sees the beautiful, beautiful buildings of Oxford. And then he comes back around and he says, man, that was my life. That was a depiction of what my life was like. I was walking in the wrong direction, looking for this beauty, and it wasn't until I turned around that I actually saw it. He would later go on and say this: for joy is a gift graciously bestowed on us by God himself. I'd hoped that in the heart of reality might be of such a kind that we can best symbolize it as a place, Lewis writes. Instead, I found it to be a person. There are a billion things that can steal our joy, but only one source from which we can receive it. Friends, the shepherd searched and found joy in Jesus. Lewis searched and found joy in Jesus. And that's my story. I mean, I grew up as a baseball fanatic. I loved it. I was named after Will Clark. I had everything going for me. And I'm in Texas, and I'm at this big time 5A school, and I'm there, and I'm like, man, everything that I want is in front of me. And we play in the state championship game, and I get this medal. And I remember standing in this line during the ceremony and getting this medal and saying, is this it? Is my entire life wrapped up in just a medal? And it started a 2-year journey for me, trying to find my happiness in so many different places until God met me my freshman year of college, where I experienced a joy that I could not express apart from Jesus meeting me. A happiness that wasn't based around my circumstances, a happiness that wasn't based around how good of a dad or husband I am or how good of a baseball player I was then. Friends, this is what I found in searching, that my life could be filled with something so much greater than just a medal. And that's my story. And I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Adam, who he had a similar story of searching like the shepherds, searching like Lewis, searching like myself, and Adam, a friend of mine, who found joy in searching.
Hi, my name is Adam Rosen. I've been coming to Vintage Grace since 2021, and I am married to Allison Rosen, who is a kids director here at Vintage Grace. So growing up, I didn't have really any religious influence whatsoever. I started the fire service in 2012, and up to just maybe a few years ago, I was able to just take whatever came at me, bury it, move on. I had a couple more very bad calls involving pediatrics and young adults at work. These ones were harder because they brought back a lot of buried emotions, buried problems that I was trying to deal with. I got to the point where I just wasn't feeling anything anymore.
Based on my own upbringing and the fears that I had in my own life, I knew that for my own health, I needed time apart and really just step out of this cycle that we managed to get ourselves into that seemed to not end.
I had failed being a father, I had failed being a husband. I felt like I failed everything. It came to a point where I was so blinded, I didn't know what good was anymore, that I was sitting in a parking lot, just screaming, yelling, depreciating the value of my truck, and I had thoughts in my head of what's the best way that I can make all this stop, was the first time that I meaningfully, truthfully prayed. And I didn't ask for forgiveness. I didn't ask to make the pain stop, anything like that. It was literally just, why am I here? You know, what did I do? Felt like in my mind I did everything right. But I'm sitting in a parking lot, you know, at the bottom of a bottle, screaming, yelling. And, you know, I felt this feeling of forgiveness, of understanding, just this feeling of grace that was coming over me. And I knew at that point that Jesus was sitting next to me. You know, he saved my life that day and saved my family. And this whole time I thought God wasn't with me throughout this entire journey. He was right beside me the whole time.
I think my reaction when I first heard that Adam felt like he truly found Jesus was peace and hope. We've been together 17 years. We've been married for 13 years. And this is something that I had prayed for so long, but wasn't sure that we would ever get to. I continue to meet with women that truly are great mentors in my life, and he took time to meet not only with a mentor one-on-one at church, but also started a men's Bible study that he goes to weekly. And we started to do things not only for ourselves to better ourselves, but to truly better our family and center that around Christ.
It wasn't until about 3 months later, that I told Allison, hey, I want to get baptized.
For him to make that commitment and want to stand up there in front of everybody and do that was honestly better than anything I could have ever imagined.
That day in the parking lot, it didn't only open my eyes and open my heart to Jesus that day. There was that emptiness that I talked about, that there was something missing, right? I had the wife, I had my beautiful girls, I have a great job. There was always, like I said, there was always something missing. And that day in the parking lot, I found it. It has brought happiness to not just me, it's brought happiness to my family, it's brought happiness to everyone around me, my community. Because it's now true happiness. It's not this fake facade of, okay, this is what people expect of me. I feel like I don't have to fake it anymore because I am truly happy, and I am just overwhelmed with the amount of love that I received.
Friends, and that just starts the question, what are we striving for? And what we get to be here today and to celebrate is this baby who comes as a king who invites us into his kingdom, as a king who wants to give us the depth of what we're longing for, a king who will bring about the end of striving and the beginning of abiding, a king who ends the control in us and brings about peace, the end of isolation and the beginning of belonging. You have a place here. And for me, it's in him where I find the end of my exhaustion and the invitation to rest. It's in him that I find the end of my control and the ability to surrender. It's in him where I find the end of my approval and the invitation to being loved. And friends, what we get to experience today is this invitation into the kingdom, this invitation to say, okay, God, I have been searching. I've been longing. I've been looking. Would you make known to me you? But it starts with us acknowledging. It starts with us where we are this Christmas season. What are we searching for? We all are searching for something. What are the things that drive us insane? What are the things that keep us up at night? That reveals what we're searching for. We can identify that. We can identify all of the things that we're searching for. We can identify what we long for. We can identify what is keeping us from the presence of God. And we can receive. Because the promise of the angels is the same promise that's been offered to us today. This good news of great joy. It's for you and for me. And friends, I don't know if you love Jesus now or not, but the invitation is simple, is to come. Come. He says, all who are weary and heavy laden, come to me and I will give you rest. Come. Because we're searching, and only in him can we find the fulfillment of what we long for. And what that means is he shines his light into the darkness. We celebrate the Savior who comes in the form of a baby as this light. And so would you please light your light with me, stand and sing.